What's up, guys? ZFarls here with the new Season Stars program and Ultimate Team. And so last week, the Ultimate Legends came out right here, and we did a review on those. And you might have been like, wow, these are amazing players, but I don't have the coin to afford any of them. So what does MUT do? Well, the next week, it introduces a brand new program that's going to bring some big-time budget players to the game. So what exactly is Season Stars? And then we'll go over each player and give you a couple guys that we like. The Season Stars program is split up into 3 groups. Each group has an offensive and defensive hero that can be earned by collecting specific player items for that group. You can also earn them through solos or find them in packs. So let's take a look at exactly who is in Group 1 and what we like about them. So there's limited time and there's set heroes. The chemistry is the difference between the limited time and the set heroes. It's not like Ultimate Legends where the boss is better. So first up, we'll start with Cordy Glenn. This guy, for pass block only, if you love to run a passing style offense, a great budget option at all levels of his items. He finally gets a more end game item for just pass blocking. Now, he's a terrible run blocker, but he's a very, very good pass blocker. So if you need a guy, Cordy Glenn should be inexpensive. And then you can also find a very cheap strength run blocker to sub in those positions. Now, Marcus Cooper sounds like a random, made up guy, but if we actually look at his ratings, he's 6'2", which I love at corner. I find that guys above 6 feet play much better than guys at 5'9". 6'2" and 5'9" is a huge difference. It's like DRC versus Chris Harris. I find a big time difference. 92 speed is very good. 87 play rec. We got to use Tamba Hali, get him up above 90. If you get this guy up above 90 play rec and you get him, 94 zone coverage, that is ferocious, up to 95 with the appropriate, abilities. I love what this guy, Marcus Cooper, brings to the table. I think he's going to be one of the better budget options. Now, he's sitting at 50K right now, which is actually a pretty good value for this item, but I bet he drops even further. However, my one note is there is going to start being a lot of these types of players coming out. There's CBs everywhere that have 92 speed, everywhere that have 93 zone. So this guy is actually that good because of his height, but if he was just another dude where his agility was low and he was a little shorter, they're a dime a dozen at this point, but I think he is a good value. Now, Demario Davis, I was shocked when I saw this item, 88 speed. Normally not a very fast item in the middle, but he's got 92 hit power with the 88 speed, 89 play rec, which you easily get above 90. He can rush, but that's not what we're going to use him for at all. He's not the best user, and he's not the best coverage guy, so he can sort of rush the passer. He can sort of play zone coverage. What his best thing is going to be, though, is the pursuit. 94 pursuit, 93 tackle, 85 strength is solid. He is going to be a good run game defender, and that's what you want to use him for. For his position, he's a very good pass rusher, but not in Ultimate Team where you can get a lot of guys. I like that he has the speed. It's a surprise to see this guy. I don't think he's going to hang on to many interceptions. Demario Davis has been known to have stone hands in the past in this game. I'll have to test and see if he's good. Field general, you can boost him up another speed right there. I'd say he's a 40K style backer, but I wouldn't sleep on him either. I do actually like what he brings to the table, but I got a better middle linebacker coming up for you. So we'll take a look at that. Cameron Brate is 6'5" with 88 spec, 89 kitchen traffic. This is a rock-solid player with 83 strength, 83 run block, but there's just too many tight ends in the game right now. Eifert, Rudolph, all types of guys that does what he does. I don't think his, 60K, even if he's down at 30K, there's a bunch of other dudes that you can get that are better. But in Group 1, I love this Danielle Hunter. 89 speed at right end. That's up there with the Vic Beasley. That makes him one of the fastest ends in the game for cross-manning. With 92 finesse move, he's that type of pass rusher. You can get him above 90. Really good block shed. His strength's a little questionable, but he is a speed style player. He's not an he's not a beef guy at the end of the day, but you can get cheap beef. You cannot get 89 speed for an inexpensive amount. But he led the Vikings in sack. He is going for 500K. He's not a 500K player at this phase of the game because there are some other cheap options with 88 speed or fast Bud Dupree's that you can drop down and cross man. So you can't pony up that much for him. This is a 100K player if he gets down that low. But if you can grab him early, sell him, and then his value will hold for a bit. He is a very nice pickup. And then lastly, in Group 1 is Melvin Gordon, and I'll tell you why I like this guy. If you search for halfbacks with 92 speed or higher, and 92 elusive or higher, the 93s, not many guys. There's a Tavon Austin who's good, but obviously Melvin Gordon has a more advanced skill set. There is a LaShawn McCoy flashback who needs more love. There's a 100K LaShawn McCoy flashback. So Melvin Gordon's 200K, or his other version is 200K. This one's 450. Can't pay that, sorry. The flashback LaShawn McCoy, because he has more agility, I like him a little bit better, and I think he's going to have a little bit better route running. But I don't mind this Melvin Gordon in any way. But I still think truck backs to the meta, battle ready backs to the meta. I heard playoff C.J. Anderson getting chirped up by Master Gamer. I've heard the new Tevin Coleman Super Bowl. So there's just a lot of good halfbacks out there. I think that Melvin Gordon's rock solid, but I would move him, and I would just go for the 100K LaShawn McCoy. I don't know why he wouldn't work for you. Now, Group 2, this William Hayes is a beast. 88 strength is his lowest point. But notice, even this William Hayes, who's a beast, doesn't have the speed that the Hunter has. 83 speed and 85 excel. So this guy's a pass rusher who can stop the run, but, I mean, Hunter just completely outclasses him. Now, price-wise, Hayes is going to be a great value. You definitely like the value you pull from this William Hayes. At 20K, that's really, really strong. But he just doesn't fit what you would want to do if you run nickel defense. You could slide him inside, but it doesn't really fit the meta of the game. But if you're really a beginner and your team is really at like an 85 and you need a cheap 20K pass rusher, this is an excellent item. But I'm just talking for end game, and even for those mid-tier teams where you're spending like 30K a guy or 50K, I think you can do better, like with an original like legend from a little bit earlier. Not an ultimate legend, but another legend like a Youngblood or a Too Tall Jones. Maybe go there. Crowell. Now Crowell's an interesting case because he has 90 speed. His strength's about 80. I've looked it up, and his agility is 93. So normally, truck players don't have so much more agility than their speed. Crowell is the exception. He's got a much higher agility than his speed, and he's still a truck back with 92, and then his elusive is at 80, which is that second tier style. He's got 90 juke. So I actually don't dislike this item. If he was battle ready, he'd be a little bit better. And once again, I think there's plenty of other better truck backs in the game, just the way the game is right now. But I think you can find some value. As far as price goes, I mean, you don't want to pay much more than 30K is too much. I think maybe 15K is okay for him. So you could grab him and try him if you have a low-level team. He could work for you. Bethea grabs an item. It's a 91 speed with 92 zone coverage. 92 play rec. Now, 87 hit power is just not at the level I need it to be. Even with field general, his speed's going to go up. He's 5'11", which kind of kills me. I want him to be a little bit taller. Athletically, this is a good option. He's definitely more of a coverage guy. If you can't afford the Kraus, the oldest Kraus, if you're not going to play man coverage 76, you don't want to play too much like cover 1, cover 0, where Bethea's in coverage. But not a bad strong safety just for the all-out coverage style if you need it, because he doesn't have the full-on hit power. For 40K, I think you could still find a better value, get another free safety and throw him over there. Tyrell Williams is a pass, and I'm not talking about passing the ball. I think you don't go after Tyrell Williams. He is 6'4" with 90 spec and 92 speed, which is, not bad, but I don't think he does anything super specific that you would feel the need to go grab him for. Ladarius Webb is a free safety. He's got 93 speed with 93 zone, 93 excel. I'd rather see you use him instead of the Bethea, because neither one's going to really force fumbles. But notice the 91 man coverage. Now, Webb is a free safety. You may remember him a few years ago. He played corner. So he has 91 man coverage. So I really like this item, his ability to play cover 0, to play cover 1, man him up from free safety, move him over to strong safety, put him there, and then you use a big-time, big hitter free safety in cover 1. So that's what I would do with this Webb if I couldn't afford the Kraus. He should pretty much be on lots of rosters. Now, he's going to be super pricey. So let's actually dig in and see. He's 400K, so he's not a 400K player in any fashion. He's not even a 185K. I know we've been looking at kind of different prices. So where does he fit? He's a 100K player. He's a 100K player because he does have a very unique skill set. I like him. And then Ben Jones, unless he gets the eye, unless he gets impact block, I mean, he's rock solid, but I need my center to have impact block, or the identifier, excuse me, or my guard. I like this guy. I think he's good, but I think that would add more value to him. Just search. I don't think we overpay for this if we can help it. Now, Group 3 has a few more guys. So James Carpenter, another great left guard, doesn't have identifier or secure pass blocker. If he gets that, that's where your line needs to be. But let's actually look at his price, because the bottom guys have been pretty inexpensive from this position. He's 50K. I think that's actually going to hold fairly well. I like him. A right end right here. So remember, William Hayes was super slow. Daniel Hunter was super fast. This guy's a little bit of a blend. 89 excel is really good. 86 speed is nice. It's nice at this portion with 92 finesse move. He may surprise some people. At 28K, you might be able to crossman him a bit. I like him more than I like the William Hayes, who I respect as more of an every down player. This guy would be more of a pass rush style player, but you could do some good things with that athleticism, and he's definitely a guy to look at for the future. Sam Bradford gets a conductor, only 91 throw power and 86 deep at this point. Like, you can't pay. You need a guy with 90s across the board. You can't have a guy with less than 92, 94 throw power at this point. Even if he's a good value in conductor, you can't go there. You need to get those guys up to 90 in those positions. Now, Steve Nelson, Marcus Cooper, a bunch of who's at the corner position, 93 speed, 92 zone. He's 5'11", so I would prefer the Cooper over the Nelson because of that. He's at 87 play rec as well, which you'd have to kind of figure out a way to bump up with the Tamba maybe. But you can't argue with 93 speed, 92 zone. His man's a little low for this point in the year, but not a bad value if you really factor in the cost. 80K is way too much, though. You need to get him at 30. I would say you want to look at the other guy first. I think the height's going to end up playing better for you. Now, Quan Alexander. This is the guy I've been waiting to talk about. He's battle ready, as he's been all season long. He's going to have some super expensive versions, but I think he's pretty much worth it. I've searched far and wide for a fast player like him, and we found it only in a few players. Bud Dupree has 90 speed. He's probably the best user in the game. Shazier has 90 speed. A couple other guys at 89, 88. 86 strength, 83 block shed, but you're battle ready, so that's good for when you get in that 94 tackle range. Plus, he's got 91 hip power. He can rush okay, but that's not what you're going to use him for. You're going to use him for his play rec, which is above 90, plus his zone coverage. So he's either a user or a CPU linebacker in the middle, and he had a few great items last year. I like what he brings to the table. If you can't afford, the top tier primo guys, hopefully this Quan gets his price a little bit lower to maybe like 100K, where he can kind of start to be a threat for people. He'd be one of the faster guys. But if you can't get down to 100K, then you got to go Bud Dupree and find a way to get some speed at that linebacker position. I know a lot of you guys still working with Barr. Moved over there, and he's making plays. And then Devontae Adams, he's not the guy I would focus on out of Group 3. But I tell you what, 6'1", 93 speed with 94 spec before any upgrades. He's looking at 96 spec if you have the Kelvin Benjamin. Deep threat's going to get you some more. He's not a route runner, but that's not his type of receiver. My thought is, though, like, if he is that Moss type spec style guy, why is he only 6'1"? So I'd pass on the Devontae Adams and try and get more value from some of the other positions. But one thing I'm super excited about is just that this Season Stars programs will allow them to put, some of the younger, unheralded talent that maybe didn't get as many Team of the Weeks, or maybe flew under the radar, or didn't quite have that next level style item come through, and then the game ended, or their team didn't make the playoffs, and they didn't have time to pick up another version. Like, those are the guys that are going to get Season Stars, and this is where the sleepers will come into play. So what I'm asking from the chat is, did we miss anything? And number 2 in the comments, let me know who you want to see get a Season Star because that's my main interest with this program, is like there's going to be great values that get season stars, that, you know, and they're going to be those guys that we're not thinking of, that didn't get items, and then they're going to all of a sudden get a 95 version of an item, and it's going to be pretty ferocious if they continue this program. I don't know that they will. I mean, they did put out 3 groups, but hopefully they do. That would be great, because these guys all had really good seasons, and I'd like to see them. If they didn't get a team of the year, if they weren't that big name Odell Beckham, if they weren't, you know, Mike Evans, like who else can come in and pick up a season star? So that is my question. Those are my reviews. Hopefully those costs were fairly accurate, but these guys should fall down hopefully in price. Do your solo challenges. Let me know in the comments who you're going after and who else you want to see possibly get a season star. All right, guys, this is ZFarls. Until next time, lock up.